Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. In today's show, we're going to have another versus match with Canada's Wonderland and Portaventura. It's a really difficult match to decide, so let's get straight into it with the roller coasters. And I will be honest, I think this very much comes down to whether or not you want to have quantity or quality of ride. So, for example, Canada's Wonderland has like 16 roller coasters. Admittedly, 2 of them are world class. They're in my top 10, including number 1. And if you look at Portaventura, they have like my second favourite roller coaster. But the overall quality of the rides after that at Canada's Wonderland are poor, average, and stuff like that. Whereas overall, other than Stampede, the other rides at Portaventura are really good. So I will be honest, I think I'd have to give a point to Portaventura. Obviously, if you prefer to have more roller coasters, more variety, stuff like that, I'd understand if you want to give the point the other way. That's very understandable. But we'll move on because, in fairness, Canada's Wonderland, we get the point straight back away because they have a miles better thrill ride selection. They have more. They're usually of really high quality. Pretty much Portaventura just really has a couple of drop towers on a pirate ship, and little else. It's actually an area of the park massively needs to improve on. Whereas Canada's Wonderland has that. They continue to build new thrill rides as well. Not only this year but last year. And generally speaking, they have a great selection. It actually is possibly better than their roller coaster lineup. It makes a really balanced park, in fairness. Anyway, moving on to the roller rides, and Portaventura can take this point as well, I think. So 2-1, roller coasters and water rides to Portaventura, and thrill rides to Canada's Wonderland. And again, it comes down to not only the quality of this time, but the quantity. It has 4 really good water rides. They all work really well. They're good fun, very rideable, really enjoyable. I have no real problems with it. Whereas, I think Canada's Wonderland could really do with a new water ride at some point. It's one of the things that are also kind of lacking, which is a little bit strange, but overall, it's one of the things very to and fro at the minute. Then there's the family ride section, which is actually really difficult to decide for myself because I've not been going to these parks for years. I've only been to them a handful of times, so it's very difficult to decide, determine where. For example, I can't really go in the kids section and go on all the little rides there. So I'm going to leave this one up for people to debate who may have gone there with their families and stuff like that, or young children and such like that. So they can have a better indication, a better idea of it than I do. So I'm just going to leave it blank and keep it as 2-1 at the moment. And then we're going to move on to operations. So this is things like getting through the front entrance, getting onto the rides, all that sort of stuff. And in fairness, when I was at Canada's Wonderland, it was pretty quiet, but they still ran multiple trains on the rides. We got on really quickly on the most part. There was some great operations. And actually, in fairness, it's pretty much the same with Portaventura. Both parks actually had really good operations. I mean, one thing I did find strange about Portaventura is the amount of times they occasionally will have, on Furious Blacko, they'd run 2 trains but only fill it halfway and stuff like that. They did things like that, which is either brilliant or a little bit of a waste of time. Not really sure, but it's pretty even. But I would say I have to give it to Canada's Wonderland. There are more roller coasters to do it on, if you like. So you saw it more regularly. So yeah, let's bring it back to 2-2. Makes it more interesting. But yeah, I think it's 2-1 anyway. Annoyingly, it's going to be 3-2 to someone very soon because next up is going to be park appearance. And I will be honest, Canada's Wonderland is a surprisingly pretty park. There's not loads of theming, but there's quite a lot of effort has been put into buildings and such. Obviously, it has the really cool waterfall mountain section in the middle, which is really pretty. But unfortunately, oh my god, Portaventura is a very pretty park. Especially if you happen to go there for Christmas or Halloween, they put so much effort into it. It looks absolutely amazing. I have to say, I think I'm going to have to lean towards Portaventura and then lean straight back away from them when I talk about food, because even though Cedar Fair have a bit of a food problem, they tend to have very generic food. They don't really tend to, especially in the dining plan, they don't really have anything that exciting. It's usually burgers, pizza, burrito type things. It's still kind of better than what they have at Portaventura. I mean, there's just not that many options, I'm afraid, at Portaventura for a park of its size, and especially considering the sort of park it is. You'd expect it to have a great variety of food, and it kind of just doesn't. It's really, really surprising, and it's free all, I'm afraid to say. We're then going to move on to additional kind of areas. So, for example, both these parks have water parks, which I would say I could review properly, but I've not actually been to either of them. Technically that's not kind of true. I've been to the indoor part of the water park in Portaventura because it was the only bit which was open at the time. So I can't really review it, but then you look at it and it's like, well, the water parks still look really cool, but then, Portaventura has a selection of hotels, so it's more of a resort, and Portaventura is just pretty much a standalone attraction, admittedly a very massive one, it covers a huge area, but it's just there by itself, whereas Portaventura is this huge resort, it has the ability to expand, put more hotels, everything like that, it really could become, really, really big park in the next few years. I think it's probably the best in Europe, so it's really good, but I'd say it's Portaventura's. Just price-wise, it's going to be really difficult because I've done it where I've got like the 2-4 ticket for Portaventura where I've spent like £75 to get like a 2-day pass, whereas unfortunately I had the Cedar Fair Platinum Pass when I went to Canada's Wonderland, so it's actually really, really, really difficult to decide. I mean, in fairness, both parks are very much worth what I paid, so I have no qualms about paying it again and stuff like that. They are really, really good, really enjoyable parks, really good fun, and overall I think I think the price is fair. I'm just going to keep that blank. Obviously it does depend on what's open on the day, how much you pay, whether or not you book online, whether or not you're booking it as part of a trip with other parks included, whether or not you want to go to both parks in Portaventura. Is a lot of variations, a lot of kind of options open for you. So it's a little bit of a strange one to really discuss. I could talk about staff, but I will be honest, I didn't really notice anything too special other than at Canada's Wonderland. Did see the one of the only time where I saw some really poor staffing of not operating the ride properly, and then some really good staffing of like sorting the problem out and finding the solution really quickly and efficiently while keeping customers informed. So there'll be like 50-50 on that one. Whereas Portaventura, it's there's nothing bad about it. It's just it's just so. Overall, I think these two parks are really, really similar, but I have to say, and I think it wins just would be Portaventura. I mean, it is possibly helps that usually you'll be sitting there in the sun of Spain, and it's a really good park with really good rides. It's pretty much the first car park I went to when I first started to like branch out on holidays and stuff like that, and it's a park I've been to, so I've kind of have like a bit of a connection to it, if you like. I've always really enjoyed my time there. I've always found it really good. The hotel's really nice as well. In fact, I've only stayed at the Portaventura Hotel, but it's right next to the park, easy to access to get in. The only thing I kind of dislike about it is it kind of has like a Q kind of shape, capital Q shape kind of layout, and I dislike the fact that the main entrance is kind of off on the little tip, so it kind of get very crowded around that sort of area. And I'm always like, you could have done it where maybe there's multiple exits and stuff like that, or there's one on the other side, so where the kind of like western kind of like kind of area of the park is should possibly have an exit as well. But other than that, it's a really, really good park. I'm gonna award the victory to Portaventura. Obviously, if you agree with it, like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree with it, like, comment, subscribe, but say why you think Canada's Wonderland's better. That's all you have to do. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.